Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about the Giving Voice to Values case from Chapter 8 about Rohde Electronics. They are a publicly traded firm that's in the course of being audited by Fitch & Jones, a local audit firm. The head auditor in this case is Denise Norris, kind of overseeing the whole process. She has come across a couple of issues. She's got a meeting scheduled with the controller at the firm, Alan Morse, and just to set a little background going into that, it has been her experience that during the course of her request and dealings with the accounting department for Rohde Electronics that they have been less than forthwith with her. Some of them have, provided unhelpful responses, haven't provided her with information if they reply to her requests at all. As well, she has kind of received, the cold shoulder, it could be said. There have been, from her investigation, what she's seeing, she's having, some questions in regards to why the company, Rohde, is doing the things that they are. There's, she wants to dig a little bit deeper here to actually be able to, move forward with the audit, be able to have it come to a successful completion. And so she, at this point, feels a little bit stonewalled. The controller is questioning the need for Denise to be quite so thorough. And so that's part of what they're going to discuss in this meeting. And at the same time, like I mentioned before, the accounting staff has been a little bit less than really helpful and open. And so that can, of course, hinder the actual investigation. She wants to get this resolved, get answers to that. So that brings us to what the role of the controller really should be in this whole process. So, like I said, Alan Morse is the controller. It's his responsibility as the controller and as a publicly traded company to provide accurate information and not obfuscate anything that will, be material to any investor. To do that, you can't do that if you're being deceptive, but also you do have an incentive to paint the company in the best light while still, following those guidelines at the same time. At the same time, though, he is the purser type of thing, in charge of taking care of inflows and outflows and reconciling them. And so at the end of the day, he doesn't want to see an inflated bill. He doesn't want the company to, be overpaying for the auditing services that it's receiving. So he does have both an incentive to paint the company in the best light, but also at the same time not be gouged on the services that the audit company is providing him. But at the same time, it should be said that barring any investigatory activity is a red flag and a way that anybody in a firm, CFO, anything like that, can try to get around detection and prevent detection of any, less than honest accounting practices. Denise, for her part, is responsible to investigate anything and everything that she sees fit in order to be able to present and certify that the results that she's getting, that she's signing off on, are indeed, an accurate representation of how the company is operating and its financial health at that point, being a publicly traded company. She, in order to do this, has to be given, the independence and resources to complete this audit, as well as the information. And at the same time, she is also, not only accountable to her firm, but also the Rohde Electronic Company, and has a professional duty as well and accountability to uphold those professional standards as well. So in this case, we're assuming that during this meeting, Alan Morse, the controller, gets defensive and, is kind of taken aback and less than happy about being questioned so harshly on the practices and everything. So in order to kind of get around this, not get around this, but to convince Alan that these audit activities have to be, transparent, and there needs to be an open line of communication between both the auditor and the company, and access to that information. Denise should be saying and explaining that there is very real repercussions in the long run, not only for Alan, if there is anything that could get him into legal trouble, but not only that, there is also very real financial damage. If people, it doesn't matter if, somebody gets convicted and goes to jail, if public perception of a publicly traded company is unfavorable, you can lose massive amounts of market capitalization, and a company can lose its ability to operate just based off of damage to reputation. And that could very well happen if some of these transactions are being misclassified, as it appears they might be. This is not only has long-term implications for Alan in his professional career and potentially legally, but also has long-term implications for the company itself. And so Denise should also be trying to stress that accurate and diligent audits protect that and provide value in the long run, even though it might be a little bit uncomfortable right now. And, maybe the amount of money they're spending on the auditor by having the audit firm, hire an outside consultant to dig into the IT realm and that kind of thing, are maybe seen as unnecessary expenses on Alan's part. It should also be reiterated by Denise that being in the position that Alan is, he does, kind of set the tone at the top, and whatever his actions and his methods and priorities are, even if they're not explicitly stated, trickle down. People pick up on those things really, really quickly. And being in the position that Alan is, having an ethical and having integrity in his decision making can go a long way to making the company successful in the long run, and the audit move smoothly from here. So hopefully that provided the information that we were looking for, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.